This is Movietone. Lionel Gamlin reporting. Aintree, and the first Grand National for 6 years. A fine day after heavy rain. Crowds of people, some crazy about horses, some crazy about making a bit of money, all crazy about the National. Would Prince Regent, the hottest favourite since Golden Miller, bring it off? We tried to get a word from the horse's mouth, but all he said was, "I think your policemen are wonderful." Well, he should know, he's seen enough of them. It was easy enough to get the bookies' view of what would happen if the favourite were to win. Newspaper headlines said they stood to lose 5 million. Fortunately for the bookies, however, there were plenty of other runners and distraction. Hats, for example. That's a pre-war model. Most of the runners were quite unmoved, either by the fashions, the betting, or the grueling prospect of about 4.5 miles of the toughest chase in the world. Tim Hyde, who rode Workman when he won, was hoping to ride the favourite to victory, even though he was top weight. There were 34 runners, of whom only 6 were destined to finish the course. But that's the way it goes at Aintree. One year, only 2 finished. Jippo was well off the mark at the start, but there's nothing to get excited about here. There's a long, long way to go yet. Jippo led over the first jump, which claimed 3 victims. Astrometer and Young Yat were 2 of them. It certainly must be very galling to come unstuck so soon. Another 3 made crash landings at the third fence. Closure, jock and historical review. This is what happens in the National, and then you get batches of riderless horses which go on jumping and getting in the way. Beecher's Brook and a fatal fall by Symbol. Fatal for the horse. His jockey Redmond had a narrow escape. There was another alarming moment when Bowden parted company from his Mount Alacrity, but he got away with it. Loch Con had by now taken the lead. First over the canal turn, he held on and showed his heels to the rest of the field for jump after jump. He was first over Valentine's, where the Movietone camera made this study of horses and horsemanship. If you want to see the National in detail, this is the way to do it. And now for jump 12. There's still no need for excitement. We're not even halfway yet. I mean, they aren't. Dunshaughlin, one of Miss Dorothy Paget's runners, falls at the 12th. Loch Con still showing the way round, with Suzerain, Schubert, McMoffat and Limestone Edward well up. Prince Regent lying about 7th, as the field leap the 13th and 14th and come up to the chair, the one before the water jump. All the horses with jockeys take the water jump with apparent ease. In fact, it's obviously better to have a jockey than a really good ducky. Half the chase is over now, but the second half is tougher than the first. Into the country once more, with all except the last 2 jumps to be taken again. Loch Con leading over the 17th, and an injured jockey just has to sit up and watch the field go thundering by. At the 19th, there was an extraordinary mix-up. Silver Flame, King Gesson and Vain Knight were three of the bunch that came to grief here. The gap in the fence seemed to be an absolute trap, and horse after horse got caught in it. Loose horses were now becoming a real menace, though wisely a number of them chose to bypass the 20th. Beechers again. This time the notorious Rail, Fence and Brook claimed 3 out of the rapidly diminishing field: Largo, Newark Hill and Tulera. My word, the different ways there are of falling. Makes you think, doesn't it? It was somewhere around here that Loch Con said goodbye, and at the canal turn, Limestone Edward had gone to the front with half a dozen loose horses still jumping. They just can't get out of the habit, I suppose. Limestone Edward takes Valentine's just ahead of Prince Regent. Things are beginning to happen. The favourites going up, and the bookies can hardly breathe. Is the Langton Abbott Prince Regent double going to come off? No one watching the race could have been thinking of much else at this moment. Prince Regent in the lead, with 2 riderless horses in hot pursuit and Lovely Cottage not far away. Lovely Cottage may have been out of the picture up to the present, but from now on he's right in it. The order at the last jump is Prince Regent, Lovely Cottage and Jack Finlay, followed by the only 3 other runners still being ridden. And now you can see exactly what happened. The favourites obviously had it. Lovely Cottage makes his great run and leaves Prince Regent standing. And before they reach the post, Jack Finlay has also passed him pretty easily. So Lovely Cottage wins not only the 1946 Grand National, but also the allegiance of the police force. Hard luck indeed on the favourite, who ran a very gallant race at top weight. It was a great victory for Mr. Morant and a triumph for Captain Peter. And if the jockey turned a deaf ear to the cheers of the crowd, there was a reason for it. His one thought at that moment was certainly for Lovely Cottage, who had done so well.